Of course, football is first and foremost on everybody's minds these days here in South Bend, Indiana. But they'll focus on a very important basketball game here tonight as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish have packed the house with what they're calling a blackout here in South Bend to welcome the Kentucky Wildcats, the 8th-ranked team of the nation, as they take on the Irish, who have been so good at home in recent years. Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the SEC Big East Challenge. Number 8 Kentucky taking on Notre Dame here at Purcell Pavilion. This is all a part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. Hi, everybody. Dan Shulman along with Dick Vitale. Another big game, another great environment. We're going to learn a lot about both of these teams here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, Dan, first of all, people have to realize Mike Brey is undefeated, 45-0 in the month of November. 40 of the last 41 games they have won on this floor. 105-7 in 7 years. Second best in the nation to Kansas. They are dynamite on this floor. Big Blue Nation has a real test.
You can hear the noise. You can feel the excitement in this building as we check out our one-on-one segment. A very young Kentucky team. John Calipari is not sure how they'll react in their first true road game of the season. Notre Dame, an experienced bunch. Almost everybody back from last year. And as Dick mentioned, so tough here at home. Who are you looking at specifically?
Well, Dan, I think when you talk about Kentucky, the key right now is the play of Archie Goodwin. Why? There he is going to the basket. He's an explosive scorer, but they're looking for him also to distribute the basketball at the point guard slot. There he is showing his range as a shooter, but he's also got the responsibility of running their offense. There he is with a nice dish and a pass. Then we talk about Notre Dame, one of the most improved players in the nation. Jack Cooley, strong on the inside. He's a double-double guy. He's going to have to be physical inside against the athleticism when you look at Kentucky with Poitras and also Noel.
Look at the starting lineups tonight here in South Bend. We begin with Kentucky in such a young group. 3 starting freshmen, Archie Goodwin, Alex Poitras, Nerlens Noel. By the way, Ryan Harrow is here and is expected to play tonight for the Wildcats. For the Irish, wearing black uniforms with green and blue trim. An experienced bunch. Eric Atkins, Jeremy Grant in the backcourt, Pat Connaughton, along with 6th-year senior Scott Martin and Jack Cooley in the middle. The Irish in black, the Wildcats in white. Carl Hess, Ed Corbin, Les Jones are official. And in front of a sellout here at Purcell Pavilion, we are underway.
One of the keys when you look at Notre Dame is their veteran guards, Atkins and Grant. They don't turn the ball over. In fact, you look at Atkins so far this year, 47 assists and only 11 turnovers.
And how about both of them had point assist double-doubles in their last game against Chicago State. Cooley can hit that shot, doesn't get this one to go, and the rebound to Goodwin, who is always in attack mode.
Tell you one thing, he loves going to the basket. He is a guy that's really a driver, a slasher. See, I don't think he's a real point guard. They're forcing him to play that point.
John Calipari says they now have 3 point guards with Goodwin getting some time in that position and Harrow coming back. Noel the kick to Kyle Wiltshire. He misses the 3, and the rebound down to Cooley, who's averaging better than 11 boards per game.
Well, they're going to find a way to get shots for Wiltshire. We had him in a Duke game. He didn't get any shots. And then he got 7 against Lafayette, made 7 threes.
Atkins, described by his coach, is so steady and dependable. There's Connaughton trying to come off the screen.
You know, Mike Brey said, they're probably the quickest pair of guards we've had since I've been here.
And a foul going against Kentucky. It'll be Poitras. Notre Dame, as Dick alluded to off the top of the show, they have been phenomenal here at home. 48 straight home wins in November, going back to 1998. The second best winning percentage at home in the last 7 years, behind only Kansas, and 40-1 in their last 41 games in this building against any competition.
Last one to beat him here, UConn, the Huskies.
Atkins with the floater.
Atkins in that lane. They have a lot of confidence. And what they do really a great job at, they control the tempo of the game. I think it's very important that they don't let Kentucky get a 10 or 12-point lead, because I don't think they have the ability to catch them if they do.
Mike Bray said he was a little bit worried about his players playing a little bit too quickly because of the atmosphere in this building tonight, but they are an experienced bunch. Julius Mays, the kick to Noel. Still plenty of time to shoot.
It's a real test for Kentucky. You got a young basketball team, totally unique and different from last year's team.
Mays might have to force it up and draws the foul on Jeremy Grant with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. As you get a look at John Calipari, and he said to us before the game he has no idea what to expect from his team tonight because they're so young and this is their first true road game of the season.
You know, you and I have had them now earlier this year, and the bottom line is, we've said it then and we'll say it again, the difference is very simple. Last year they had 3 NBA players as veterans coming back, guys that were good enough to play in the NBA. Look at Miller and Lamb and Terrence Jones. These kids here have to do it right away. They don't have those kind of people to support them.
The most experienced player they have is Wilcher, who averaged 5 minutes a game last year.
How about being ranked in the top 5 preseason and you don't have one player coming back who started the game? That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And here they are, 4-1 in the season. The only loss to Duke, a close loss, as Grant is open for 3. Follow no good, and the rebound down to the Cats.
See, Cats want to play at a faster pace.
Goodwin, left hand, and it is a travel.
They lead the nation right now, field goal percentage. That really surprised me tonight. But I'm going to tell you this, I think John would be very honest about it as well. They haven't played the quality competition they're facing tonight, or what they faced when they certainly played Maryland and Duke.
Beat Maryland in the opening game of the season, lost a close game to Duke, and of course Duke, one of the top teams in the country. They've had so many impressive wins early, so John Calipari kind of likes what he's seen from his team, and as always is the case with a young team, thinks they'll be a lot better a couple of months from now than they are right now.
Well, offensively, teams have really been able to hurt them on the glass. I mean, Maryland really ripped them apart on the glass.
Mays with a shot fake, steps in and knocks down the 12-footer from the baseline.
That was a really good skill move right there. Catch the ball, face the defensive player, get in triple threat position, and throw a little shot fake, as Dan Shulman said, and get wide open.
Atkins with the floater off the glass to tie the game.
Nice drive by Atkins. Should have actually taken a straight line to the basket. He let veer it out.
Long stretch without a whistle here in South Bend in the early going.
See, Wilcher has a tough time finding shots. I think the matchup inside, quickness against power, Noel against Cooley on the interior.
Wilcher and one. Kyle Wilcher with a basket to give Kentucky a 2-point lead.
They got to get him involved offensively because he has great touch. Really drive you as crazy as a coach to have a kid that can shoot the ball. Now here he is showing he's trying to improve his ability to drive with it. They cleared out the left side of the court. A good little move right there to the basket.
Overpowered Scott Martin on his way into the basket and completes the old-fashioned 3-point play. Wildcats up 7-4.
Scott Martin, really interesting player. Has not been as consistent as they like. But here's a kid that does defend well. And you talk about age. He's like 23 years of age.
He's a 6th-year senior. Sat out a year as a redshirt. Also missed a year due to injury. And in part because he came to Notre Dame to be close to his father, who has been suffering from cancer. The NCAA granted him a rare 6th year of eligibility. Goodwin with a beautiful fake and drive. Kentucky by 5.
See, there aren't many kids that can go coast to coast like he can. He can really attack the rim. John Calipari, in defining his ability, said he's a mini version of Westbrook, who played at UCLA.
And with his start, Dick, they've kind of taken the crowd out of it early here in South Bend. Martin a little bit too strong. Rebound down to Noel.
Missing open shots. They've had some really good open looks. Not making shots count.
Stolen away.
Got to make this one count.
Martin ahead to Atkins for the layup. Mike Bray hollering out a change in defense now as Kentucky comes up the court. Looks like the Irish drop it into a 2-3 zone.
A lot of people think you should zone that. But if you're going to zone, you better find Wilcher. He's the one guy in the zone you better find.
Noel to Poitras and a foul.
He's a kid that has so much ability. He's just got to absolutely be determined to want to be a special player.
How about the drive by Archie Goodwin, showing some of his many skills. Kentucky with an early 3-point lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Radio Shack, where you can get the phone and plan that's right for you with free expert support. And Audi, truth in engineering.
Help us beat cancer. The V Foundation awards 100% of direct donations to fund cancer research. Log on to jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to donate. Dan Schulman and Dick Vitale back with you. This is Jimmy V Week here on the ESPN family of networks, culminating with a great basketball doubleheader at Madison Square Garden on Tuesday night, as we'll see Georgetown in Texas and then NC State and UConn. Here we've got Kentucky and Notre Dame, and the Wildcats are off to a good start.
They really are. They get good ball movement. So far, 3 for 3 on the free throw line, 3 for 4 shooting the ball, and missed their first one.
At the line is Alex Poitras, freshman from Clarksville, Tennessee, 6'7", 240. There's Mike Bray. Got a 10-year extension, Dick, and you've often talked about what a great fit he is here at this institution. Connaughton from the wing, and the Irish are missing shots they normally make. Pretty good looks.
Yeah, 3 for 9. They had wide open shots. Connaughton's got to make that three. Mike Bray is the perfect fit for the University of Notre Dame. He represents everything this university is about.
And he's even got the blackout going tonight.
Yeah, the blackout in town.
Everybody in the stands getting a black T-shirt. The Irish wearing black jerseys. But right now, it's the Wildcats who are winning the ball game on the court as Mays knocks down a three.
They got to be very careful to try and catch them quickly. They're going to stay within the realm of their offense and really play at the tempo they want Notre Dame.
Mays with 7 for Kentucky. Atkins has all 6 for Notre Dame.
Fully matched with Noel is a great shot blocker. Leads a team in steals as well.
Mike Bray really looking for Grant to attack and to be aggressive at all times. Feeling he can be a serious big-time player. As we've got a Kentucky foul away from the ball, and that is on Poitras.
You know, you mentioned Grant comes from a great basketball family. Father was a good player, Harvey.
Yep.
His uncle Horace was outstanding.
Second foul on Poitras. He has to go to the bench. Jared Polson is into the game now for Kentucky. He might have won the ball game against Maryland in the opening game of the season.
Had 22 great minutes in that game. 10 points and a great offensive rebound. What a trade-off that is. They go small now with Poitras on the sideline.
Garrett Sherman has checked in for Notre Dame along with a freshman, Cameron Beachide. That's Beachide coming down with a rebound right there. 6'7" freshman out of St. Louis and a big-time scorer in high school.
Averaged 37 a game out of high school rank.
Nice ball movement, and Sherman, the transfer from Michigan State, lays it in.
He's had 3 double-figure games coming off the bench. Is that Michigan State? See, they get point production now off their bench with Sherman and Beachide.
Mike Bray normally only goes 7 deep in the close game, so we'll see how that plays out. Wilcher open for 3, and the rebound down to Martin, who's averaging 8 boards per game.
You know, Wilcher getting open looks now against that 2-3 zone.
Sherman, pretty good position, and a reach-in foul on Noel, his first.
You know, Sherman gives him experience, a big wide body, played at Michigan State. There's a little fake inside, catch around the basket, the left hand, the layup, the conversion. He's got 7 guys he can play right now. He feels Beachide's eventually going to become a very good player.
You know, Sherman's averaging 11 points per game and only 19 minutes per game. And granted, early in the season, not every team they've played is an outstanding team, but that's still terrific production off the bench. And we've got another Kentucky foul, and this one will be on Archie Goodwin, his first. Again, not a very deep team for John Calipari, and they can ill afford to get into foul trouble. Poitras already has 2.
You know, we talk about all these coaches, what they've done. What about John Calipari in 3+ years? His wins are unbelievable. He hasn't lost the game at Rupp yet.
Yep.
Has not lost the game at home.
An Elite 8, a Final 4, and then last year a national championship.
Not bad.
Sherman, too much traffic, stolen away by Goodwin. Driving on Beachide, and he traveled.
He really did. Good call right there by Ed Corbett. No doubt he took that extra step for the left hand. You know, people better get Kentucky now because with the beat going on in recruiting for the future, unbelievable what they have coming in next year.
Cooley back in for the Irish. Martin goes to the bench. Cooley getting better and better every year. Didn't play much, wasn't a big factor as a freshman. Luke Herringody was still on the team, but an all-conference performer last year, and it certainly looks that way again in his senior season.
In the first 8 games he played, he did zilch. And then all of a sudden, it was a double-double guy. Became the most improved player, voted in Big East.
And averaging better than 14 and 11 so far this season. 3 from the wing, not there. Cooley down with the offensive rebound. Somehow reverses it up and in.
That was a big-time play. That was just physical toughness. He really wanted that ball. Well, you look at that body, you say, Brian Kelly, why can't play him in an offensive line?
Noel inside, and he draws the foul. Cooley has to be careful to not pick up a technical as he objects to that call.
See, I think Noel's got to be a little bit more active offensively. He can give us some scoring inside. Look at this right here. He just wanted that ball, and then he's right there. Could have been caught with a little push with his left hand.
Did look like he was sliding still a little bit. And Cooley gets called for the foul, his first. Still unhappy about the call. As Nerlens Noel goes to the line, you say he's got to look for his offense more.
Yeah, I really believe he's got to try to be a little bit more offensive-minded.
Ryan Harrow is into the game. Harrow, the transfer from North Carolina State, played 10 minutes in the first game against Maryland, was suffering from an undiagnosed or undisclosed illness, missed some time, then went home to deal with a personal family situation, returned for a couple of days of practice. He's going to have to earn his minutes back as he comes in. John Calipari says really as the third-string point guard right now.
I had a real good talk with him before the game. He got beat right there, though, off the bounce.
Atkins again.
Atkins right to the goal. I think right now, when you look at Ryan Harrow, he thinks too much, reads the paper a little bit too much. I just told him before the game, I said, Ryan, you just be Ryan Harrow. You don't worry about John Walls and Teagues, Knights, and all those great players. They were great. You just play within yourself. And he really thanked me before the game.
Turned it over right here. Beat shot, look ahead to Grant. Rifles a pass cross court to his buddy Atkins, who misses the 3. And back comes Goodwin. 2-on-2 with Harrow.
Bad shot. Bad shot. Just a bad play. That's a freshman-itis right there. You're not going to win big-time games with those kind of shots against quality competition.
Atkins and Grant in the backcourt for the Irish. Both of them play almost the entire game.
They really blend so well together as a combination, both defensively and offensively. There's good spacing right there. Will coach team. Mike Bray has great feel for the game. He was an assistant to Mike for a number of years.
Sherman inside, misses the layup. Gets it back, left hand off the back of the rim. And again, the Irish have had so many good looks that they normally knock down, and tonight, for the most part, they're not falling.
I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever, Dan, watching Sherman, he's going to contribute to this team in a big way.
How about Goodwin, Harrow, and Polson all in the game at the same time for John Calipari?
Yeah, playing small on that perimeter. Harrow just has to get a basket, man. Make a shot. He'll get a little confidence.
Polson, no. It'll be out of bounds to the Irish when we come back, and we'll do a little bit of reminiscing, Dickie V, when we come back. Some of the great Kentucky Notre Dame games of the past with the legendary Digger Phelps. One of the things you think of when you think of Notre Dame basketball is some of the big-time upsets that they have pulled over the years against top-ranked teams here in South Bend. No game bigger than the one to snap UCLA's 88-game winning streak back in the early 70s. And a guy who was the coach of Notre Dame for some of these notable upsets, for many of these notable upsets, is our own Richard Digger Phelps. He's got a big smile on his face as he's looking at these scores and these memories going by. There have been 3 times that Notre Dame has beaten a ranked Kentucky team. Now, I know you weren't the coach in 1950, and I'm pretty sure you weren't the coach in 1970, but you definitely were the coach in 1980.
Well, let's go back to that game in 1950. Moose Krause, the athletic director, eventually coached against Adolph Rupp in the old field house. Final score, Moose Krause and Notre Dame 64, Adolph Rupp and Kentucky 61. Moose had the band behind Adolph's bench playing the victory march the whole game. Adolph said, I'll never bring a team back to Notre Dame. He did. The next time a Notre Dame team played Kentucky here, Rick Pitino in 1990. Yeah, Dick, he lost too. But my first year here at Notre Dame, I'm losing tonight by 65. UCLA by 56. Kentucky's got me down 31. Lose by 16. Rupp calls me that night and says, what do you think's wrong with my team?
What is it about this building, the Leprechaun, the luck of the Irish, and all the wins over the ranked teams?
It's just the moments that Notre Dame lives for. I mean, that's just a tradition, matter if it's football, basketball, we've seen it all the time. But like right now, the zone has got Kentucky and having some issues. And I credit Bray for going to it. Because now, after losing that first part of the game, they're back in the hunt to get the lead.
And they're up a point now on a 9-2 run as Atkins finds Sherman. Cooley banging inside with Cauley Stein.
You know, Digger, people don't realize really, and I'm going to be serious with you for a moment, what you achieved here was special. You had this place rocking and rolling, nice inside play for the score. People don't understand. You had such quality teams. The only thing my beef was you would never play me at Detroit.
Because you would have beat me like you did Dayton that year, Michigan that year. But look, going inside to Cooley's special now. I think you get that going. It takes the outside game, the pressure off, and they'll start scoring.
Harrow too strong. Loose ball out of bounds to Kentucky.
I think the key right now, Digger, is they're controlling the tempo of the game. They are playing at their tempo. Let's look at Richard Phelps.
You still got that jacket?
Yeah.
You still got that tie?
What about that hairdo? He doesn't have that hairdo.
Al McGuire gave me that jacket back when. But now.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What was it like, seriously? I mean, in a short span of time, you broke John Wooden's 88-game win streak. Then you also, people don't realize, you beat my buddy Al McGuire, had 81 in a row, I believe. It was 81, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Winning streak.
Yep.
And wasn't it Clay to hit both those winning shots?
Yes, he did. You're exactly right. There's a finally score inside for Kentucky and a step-out jump shot.
John Hood into the game.
But they're going back to this, seriously. John Paxson's here tonight with Ralph Sampson. 1980-81, Pax was on the team with Trapuka, Jackson, Woolwich. We beat Kentucky and Louisville. They were number one. That February, they beat Ralph Sampson in Virginia and Chicago. They knocked off two number one teams that year.
What was your greatest moment? If you had to pick one moment that was as special as any moment as the coach of the Fighting Irish.
It was the UCLA game in '74 by far. We're down 11 with 3:22 to go. We called timeout, make some adjustments, go out and shut them out 12-zip. Clay shot at the buzzer, like you said. He did it at Marquette as a sophomore. He did it against Ohio State to put us in overtime at the buzzer and beat Pitt here in a buzzer shot. That was his fourth shot, the only shot he took in a half to win the game.
And you also had two great Jersey players, Brokaw and John Shumate.
Yep.
And if I was at Rutgers, you wouldn't have either.
No, you stole Phil Sellers from me when I had him coming here, and he ended up going with Vitale at Rutgers.
Digger, how good can this group be this year?
I like the senior experience. I think two things we're looking for with the Irish this year. Scott Martin has got to have consistency in both halves. That's been a lack of. I think Atkins, and when you look at Grant, if they get consistent for a full game in both halves, they got the inside and outside, they got the experience. Cooley needs the ball because he can get a double-double against this Kentucky front line tonight.
You know, let's face reality. This Kentucky team is going to be a good team, but they're nowhere near what they were last year.
No, because don't forget, Dick, he had Jones, Miller, and Lamb. We get that experience factor to go with the inexperience they have now. That's what Kentucky lacks. But you know Pitino better than anybody. He will coach these guys, they'll get it, and by February, when it counts in the conference tournament, time for March Madness, he'll be there.
You meant
Calipari, yeah.
I mean Calipari, I'm sorry, yes.
Cam Beachside off the glass to extend the Irish lead.
See, Beachside is a kid that has great scoring ability. He has to understand what a good shot is. He has a little difficult time understanding shot selection.
He's got a lot to learn yet, but he's playing now.
Goodwin. Too much traffic, and it'll be Kentucky ball when we come back.
It's always a pleasure, Richie.
Thanks, Coach.
My pleasure, Dan. Good to see you all.
See ya.
Hey,
let's have a great game. Yes.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
Give me some tickets for the football game. You should.
Love you, Richie. Love you. Take care, guys.
Studio update here, Carl Ravitch. You'll hear from Seth Greenberg and Jay Williams during our halftime. UConn and UNH battling, and Omar Cook knocks down the jump shot. I should say Omar Calhoun knocks down the jump shot for UConn. Jim Calhoun's also sitting there. Quinn Cook played last night. We're getting ready for a football game. Louisville and Rutgers. That's Teddy Bridgewater. Pretty simple equation. Rutgers wins, they win the Big East. And at least for the next 2 years, that's significant.
And look at this, we're talking football. This is one of Golick's boys, right? This is Jake Golick doing a little sweeping, doing a little cleaning here.
That's Jake. I'll tell you one thing. Mike
Where's
can be
Mike?
very proud. His brother
There's Mike.
I'll tell you why you should be proud, and I told it to both guys. They represent the university with such class, and they have such a great family. I said, most of all, you guys should be so proud of your family because the Golick family is special, and these two guys are very special. Mike is a starter would probably play in the NFL.
I didn't get the feel Digger was actually going to get you tickets for the football game.
I know. I got pretty good news today. I think I might be getting some.
Mays misses the three, and then a foul by Hood. Hood, a guy doesn't play very much, but getting some minutes. Poitras on the bench with 2 fouls as Hood picks up his first. For the Irish, Eric Atkins has 11 of their 19 points. Scott Martin hasn't scored. Pat Connaughton hasn't scored. And maybe most importantly, Jaron Grant hasn't scored yet for the Irish.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you one thing. They're doing a great job. I think the key, as I said to Digger before, tempo, tempo, tempo. The tempo is exactly the pace they want this game played at.
And another Kentucky foul. The SEC Big East Challenge continues tomorrow on ESPN at 6:30 Eastern Time. It'll be Tennessee, led by Trey Golden, taking on Otto Porter with a very good Georgetown squad. And then at 8:30 Eastern, the Syracuse Orange head down to Fayetteville to tangle with the Razorbacks. Also live on Watch ESPN. ESPN, the home court of college hoops.
Is someone going to show Jimmy Boeheim how to get to the airport? I don't think he has any idea how to get to the airport. Oh, I love teasing James.
4 games tonight, 4 tomorrow night, and 4 more on Saturday in the SEC Big East Challenge.
They got a good team, by the way. Syracuse,
yes.
Really good basketball. That's good execution. That's just great execution. They are really outplaying. Look at this right
Look
there.
who it is, Manti Te'o.
Manti's in the house. Heisman. Come on, Fowler. Come on, Desmond Howard. This guy, Notre Dame, would not be undefeated. They would not be #1 without him. Let's honor defense. I got in a battle with Eddie George. I was on Sirius Radio, Mark Packer's show. I said, Eddie, you guys always go offense. Let's go defense.
Mays into Willie Cauley-Stein. Turnaround jumper is good for the 7-footer who was as much of a football player, a wide receiver last year as he was a basketball player, setting his sights on basketball here with Kentucky. Can you imagine him flying down the field at 7 feet?
They got to utilize him a little bit more, get him involved more offensively in basketball. He's just learning how to play. He's in the infancy stages in the world of basketball, but can't teach that agility and mobility he possesses.
Olsen defending Grant. Still plenty of time to shoot. Beach shot. Yes.
I think he's going to be a big scorer here. He just has that scorer's mentality. He keeps shooting it. Averaged 37. Went to the same high school as a former ACC Player of the Year, Chris Carraway.
He averages more shots per 40 minutes than any other player on this Notre Dame team, and he's a freshman coming off the bench.
Well, I saw that in practice yesterday. He hasn't made a shot he doesn't like yet. Played at Ritter High School out in St. Louis.
Goodwin playing off the ball a little bit. Now gets it from Polson. Shot clock inside 10. Polson short. Rebound Irish. Beach side. Offensive foul.
He's always in the offensive mode, man. He is always thinking, oh. Watch Cooley on the inside. A little 2-man game. There's the jam. Great job executing offensively. There's B-shot, just a square up, shoot the 3. Man, I just love it. Look at him. He loves his university. What a salesman. He and Skylar Diggins, they represent this school with such class. 2 great athletes who are also great students.
And we're going to have Manti Te'o joining us in the second half here.
Can I get an autograph? Can I get a picture?
I knew that was the first thing you were going to say. You're going to have to contain yourself and act like a grown-up.
That'll never happen.
Noel, double team. Mays. Boy, Mays playing under control. Missed the shot. And another loose ball to Notre Dame. Count the basket and 1.
Hey, they beat him at the wrong game, so we can run too. We got quickness in our perimeter. Mike Bray has to be very happy with the performance of the Fighting Irish. 45-0 went to Mike Bray in the month of November. As the drive, laid on the glass. People in Big Blue Nation who love their Cats big time, I'm going to tell you, I have one word for them. Patience. Patience.
Second foul on Goodwin. 3-point play, Grant. They list him as a junior because Notre Dame lists their players academically, but athletically, he's just a sophomore. Had a stress fracture a couple of years ago. He's potentially got 2 more years after this one. And the Irish lead is out to 9. Notre Dame's made its last 6 shots from the field.
That challenge at Wiltshire
with the left hand, gets the roll and draws the foul. Wilcher shown, as you said earlier, he can do more than just shoot the ball.
Yeah, he wants to be a go-to guy right there. He wanted the ball. He said, bring me the rock, and I'm going to take him one-on-one. And here he is right there. Great challenge, and he goes to the left hand with the score. Daddy was a big-time player.
Greg,
Oregon State, yep. There he is working on the inside. That was a great move right there. There was a basket they needed badly.
And you can see I said 5 minutes per game last year for Wilcher. I meant 5 points per game was his average. But as you mentioned, they don't bring back anybody who started even one game last year. Wilcher played a fair bit but never started a game. But he's by far the most experienced player they have this year.
And as we've said on top of the show, and Digger repeated it, the fact they lost Terrence Jones, they had Lamb, they had Miller. Those guys were able to make the young kids really blend a little easier.
Irish have made 6 in a row. Sherman out there along with Cooley, the two big guys in the game together, which is a look that Mike Bray likes. Sherman going strong inside, draws the foul.
Getting good post position. When you're getting guys on your back that deep or offensively, you're in great position to score.
The tide has turned a little bit here in South Bend with the Irish now up by 6.
Report a couple minutes away. Jay Williams and Seth Greenberg. Coach Calipari said at the beginning of the year, it's not about winning and losing, it's winning and learning. What are we learning?
Well, we're learning that they lack defensive discipline. Notre Dame is absolutely exposing their defense.
And Notre Dame really slowing down the tempo, and they're doing a really good job of keeping UK off the offensive glass.
All right, that's coming up. We'll send it back to Dan and Dick. We'll also preview Marquette in Florida. Should be a good game. It's our nightcap, 9 o'clock, right here on ESPN2. Guys.
Carl, guys, thanks very much. Eric Atkins, the story so far for Notre Dame. He's got 11, and they lead by 6.
Hey, Atkins has really played well. As Seth said, they're really attacking him defensively. There he's the little floater wide open. You're going to watch him drive right here. I mean, Jay Williams would want that drive. He'd go right to the rack and score every time. There he is right there with another one, challenging the big guy. And I'm going to watch him right here. He says, why not? I'll shoot a 3. I'll make Mike Williams, who's player of the year. He must be smiling. These Dukies looked good last night. Second half, outscored Ohio State by 13.
Big win for Duke over Ohio State. Last night, Atkins already over his season average here in the first half. Sherman is at the line right now. What an important addition he has been to the Notre Dame program, giving them another veteran, experienced big man.
Yeah, they were recruiting him heavily and lost out to Tom Izzo, Michigan State. But when he decided he wanted to transfer, gets down to playing time, hey, Mike Gray said, we want you. Yep. Let me just say this, Dan. The most impressive team I have seen thus far this year was the other night, Indiana. They had all the parts going. They were dominant. They were absolutely dominant, and they covered 3 parts of the floor so well. The post, the wings, and the perimeter.
Big win over North Carolina. And a hold away from the ball going on the Irish. That will be on Sherman, his second.
I think these young cats right now need a spurt. They cannot afford Notre Dame to really go on a spurt here and put them in double figures in terms of being behind.
Bonus now for Kentucky. Wilcher to the line.
See, I think sometimes you beat up on these cupcakes and you get a false idea of how good you really are.
Well, they did play Maryland, and they have played Duke.
Yeah, no, that's quality. Yeah. That's quality. Yeah. Maryland's very good. Yeah. So what they did to Northwestern, they're going to have a big year.
And again, John Calipari's looking at Duke and saying, hey, look how good they are, and look how close that game was. And with as young as his team is, he feels pretty good about what they are right now, hoping for more development over the course of the season. But right now, they got to figure out a way to stop Atkins.
Atkins having a major performance. Attacking off the bounce, defense not in front of him, getting beat. 13
for Atkins and the biggest lead of the night for the Irish.
You know, as you look right now, other than Wilcher, and you look possibly, well, there's a tip in by Noel, where are they going to get scored from? Right now, really having a tough time getting any kind of score.
Well, Poitras has hardly played this half. He's picked up a couple of fouls. And Goodwin is on the bench with 2 fouls as well, so that really limits some of their opportunities.
Absolutely. With that tandem sitting on the sideline, it reduces big time any scoring ability.
Sherman inside, defended by Wilcher. Lost it. Harrell behind the back. Harrell all the way, left hand, too strong off the glass.
Kid really struggling, made a great move right there, but didn't convert. Now he's got to play on the defensive end. You got to stay in front of him. You got to really get down. You're going to play for John Calipari. You can't get beat. Got a little push-off right there. Harold beat him to the spot.
Kentucky led by as many as 6 earlier in the game. They're down by 8 right now. They're down by 11 right now as Grant buries the 3 and John Calipari needs a timeout.
They're almost down 2 touchdowns, man. Almost 2 touchdowns. Playing really well, the Fighting Irish. And really executing, getting open looks, and making them count. That was a tough shot.
ESPN's coverage of the NBA continues tomorrow night. It'll be Andre Iguodala and the Denver Nuggets taking on Kobe Bryant and the LA Lakers. 10:30 tomorrow night on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN.
You know, before people start ripping up on the Lakers, let me make it very clear. They will be a different team when the ball is handed to Steve Nash.
Yes, sir.
You know, last time, Notre Dame, they had lost 10 in a row to Kentucky. They beat them in 2009. Coach of that team, Billy Gillespie. 2 days later, he was out of a job.
That was an NIT game, postseason NIT. Noel misses the jump hook. Loose ball run down by Wilcher, a fresh 35 for Kentucky.
See, Noel's going to want the ball a little bit more on the inside. He's got some good quickness down to that low post. I mean, they got 3 legitimate lottery selections when you talk about the 2 kids not on the floor. Poitras and Goodwin, and you factor in Noel.
Mays off to Wilcher. Final minute now of the first half. Mays for 3, not there. And the rebound down to the Irish. Kentucky struggling from beyond the arc.
Not getting good shots, not getting the kind of shots they want.
And Notre Dame has been so hot the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Well, because they're getting high percentage shots.
Yep.
It's all about shot selection. If you want to be a quality team, you have to define and understand what good shot selection is. And that's a dilemma for a lot of teams.
This is Jimmy V Week on the ESPN family of networks. Your chance to donate at jimmyv.org or 1-800-4JIMMY-V. It's our official charity, and it's as near and dear to your heart as anything in the world, I know.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I'm like obsessed with it, but really, Jimmy V would be smiling that over $100 million has been raised. But really, that's nowhere near enough. That disease, almost every day I seem to get a phone call from someone who's battling that disease or knows someone, and especially young kids. It takes my heart apart to see a youngster. I went to the hospital one time at All Children's Dad, and to see all these little kids in there with brain tumors and leukemia, it just rips you. It rips you. As dads tell me and moms, when your child is battling that disease, it's 24/7. You can't work. You're not thinking about your job. You're not thinking about working. All you're thinking about that little guy doing his chemo and radiation. So please, please donate. 1-800-4JIMMY-V.
And every dollar of your direct donation goes right to the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Loose ball, Cooley lays it in.
I tell you, Cooley, and when you look at Sherman, they're going to give him point production in that lane. There are 2 wide bodies who know how to score around the basket. Mike Bray could not script this any better to go to halftime. The only way it could be better if it's like this to get into the game.
3 seconds. Polson gets it to go. What an acrobatic and much-needed basket for Kentucky right at the end of the half after Notre Dame dominated for about the last 10 minutes, shot the lights out here on blackout night inside Purcell Pavilion. And Notre Dame trying to knock off number 8 Kentucky. They've got an 11-point lead at the break.
It's a challenge when you're leaving and you see this big mug of Digger Phelps there in the stands, that big cardboard cutout. South Carolina and St. John's. There, of course, is Steve Lavin, first quarter. His team down 1. Jakar Sampson. Baseline activity, rolling towards the middle, then gets one off the window.
Jakar Sampson, one of the most athletic players in the country. And this is a very deep and athletic St. John's basketball team.
Good spacing.
Great job of St. John's exploiting the overplay from South Carolina. Nice half-court back cut and the extra pass.
For Dominic Pointer with the assist and the three-pointer by Phil Green, not the third, the fourth, but he made the 3. That, of course, is Seth Greenberg. That's Jay Will. Look, Notre Dame's a really good team, and Kentucky's really young, and it's kind of playing out that way, isn't it?
Well, I think a lot of people need to understand that this is Kentucky's first true road game. I mean, they played Maryland and they played Duke at a neutral territory.
What does that mean?
Well, the fact that I think they're a little bit behind the 8 ball here. They feel a little bit pressured. They're in a very hostile, thank you,
environment without a point guard.
Yeah, and Notre Dame's done a really good job of dictating tempo, slowing the pace of the game down, and keeping Kentucky off the offensive glass.
Yeah, I think defensively, their lack of maturity and defensive discipline has been absolutely exploited. And then against the zone, all right, there's no penetration. They got Nerlens Noel in the high post. He catches, well, he can't make a play right there. There's a little bit of penetration, but you've got to come to a stop, collect yourself, and shoot a shot you can make again. Look how far out that this Kentucky offense is being pushed. One-on-one play, we settle on a rhythm dribble and a three-point shot. We never get to the second side of the offense. You cannot attack a zone on the first side. You've got to attack the zone to the high post and get it to the second side. Right now, Kentucky is just settling.
Hey, guys, and also let's remember that last year when they had Terrence Jones, Anthony Davis, somebody you could throw the ball down to the post and say, hey, do your thing. Nerlens Noel, these guys aren't scoring on a block like that. I mean, they're only playing in transition. They're getting buckets off offensive rebounds and in transition.
Let's look at Noel, because you do get used to thinking like this is another Anthony Davis. It's not.
Yeah, right. Again, Nerlens Noel, he's got to make contact and cut someone out on that blockout. He's got to go to Cooley and cut him out, be physical on that blockout, and he's got to be alert off the basketball. Nerlens Noel right here, again, you see him, he's watching the basketball, he's not engaged in the play. There's the back cut, he's late on the rotation, that's a high percentage shot. He's got to be locked in. This Kentucky defense is not active nor alert, and that's a formula to get yourself.
But they're almost victims of their own success. It's a tough road to be a freshman at Kentucky. The expectations are off the ceiling.
Well, that's every single year, but this is a different Kentucky basketball team. And they don't have that point guard to really lead them. And, I mean, you have...
John Wall is not walking through that door,
Archie Goodwin is a really good player.
Walking through that door.
They have really good players, but they have playmakers. I mean, so there's nobody to really say, hey, listen, calm things down. Right. Let's get a good shot and let's execute.
And a lot of talk about Kentucky. Notre Dame's playing a good game. I mean,
playing a great game.
Kentucky made 4 of their first 5. Then they went 4 for the last 18.
Yeah, and Eric Atkins is absolutely just dominating. They're picking him apart and picking
Yeah, and their spacing is good. And they do a great job of curling off those down screens and coming off screens, shot ready. And that's one thing. This Kentucky, this Notre Dame team is an experienced basketball team. Great interior passing. Derek Sherman, a fifth-year guy playing off the baseline. Again, this is a mature basketball team against an immature basketball team that lacks leadership. This team, they get the ball reversed. They make the extra pass. And that's the difference between, you know, a team with 5 upperclassmen and a team with 1.
Also, you know, Notre Dame, they're never rushed. They're always taking their time. And all their
They're
sets,
as cool as you.
They're sharp, they're executing, they're actually hitting people on screens, they're rolling, and they're finishing at the rim.
Football team's feeling really good about
itself.
I think some of those guys want to play.
Up there. I'm sure they do.
Cole's kids cleaning the floor.
Wait, Teo's playing football. I'm sure he can play basketball as well. Well, they're used to playing good football at Florida. Marquette, that's the basketball game tonight. We'll take a look at our second game as the SEC Big East Challenge rolls on during Jimmy V Week here.
Teo likes what he's seeing tonight here at the Purcell Pavilion here in South Bend. And Shulman and Dick Vitale, Notre Dame leading Kentucky by 11 here as we get ready for the second half. This is a part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. It was all going pretty well for Kentucky the first 6 or 7 minutes. What changed?
Well, you know, Kentucky, the guys get in foul trouble. Goodwin and Poitras go to the bench. Only played 5 minutes between them. 2 of the leading scorers have a total of 2 points. And on the other side, Atkins was absolutely brilliant. And I thought the execution inside by the big guys, Sherman and Cooley, was the difference. It's very important for Kentucky to get their kids involved right away. Meeting Poitras and meeting Goodwin. Putting points on the board in the first 4 minutes.
Let's take a look at our Reese's perfect plays right now as the Irish wearing the black uniforms. Blackout night tonight here in South Bend. The shot started falling.
Well, there's Atkins right there with the drive and then with the 3 as well. Really so effective. Then we watch the big guys on the inside. There's Cooley with the score around the basket. And then we're going to watch a little screen, a little dump down, and there's another conversion. Great execution by the Irish.
11-point lead for the Irish as we begin the second half. Notre Dame started the game in a man-to-man, then went to a zone for most of the rest of the first half with some success. They're back in a man starting the second.
Well, they're 1 for 8. Kentucky shooting threes in that first half.
Noel with a jump hook off the back of the iron. Rebound to Wiltshire and a fresh 35.
Good rebound right there by Wiltshire to give another opportunity.
Goodwin is fouled on the drive. An unpopular call here in South Bend. It'll be Cooley picking up his second.
You know, Kentucky leads the nation in field goal percentage, 55%. I think sometimes stats this early should look here in the first half. Mays and Noel with 7 and 4 each. Atkins and Cooley big. Stats this early, Dan, are really something you have to throw to the side, basically, because of a lot of cupcakes out there.
Well, so far tonight, Notre Dame shooting over 55%.
Right.
And Kentucky at 37%.
And Kentucky 1 for 8, as I said earlier, shooting the 3.
First true road game of the season for this very young Kentucky team. The Irish are 6-1. Their only loss was in Brooklyn in overtime to St. Joe's.
St. Joe's very athletic team, and that was a concern of Mike Bray, the athleticism of Kentucky. They had a 7-point lead with about 3 minutes left in that game, and the athletes down there at St. Joe's, they were the difference. Phil Martelli has a very good team, and the Atlantic 10 is one of the most underrated conferences in the nation.
Butler VCU moving into the lead.
That certainly gives them a lot of quality.
Grant gets control back, finds Martin. Back to Grant. All the way, switches hands, partially blocked by Noel.
There was presence inside. Sometimes becomes a...
And the ball rolled out of bounds. The officials, everybody started moving up the floor, but Mays lost the ball, and the ball was sitting on the end line. And finally it was noticed, and it was given to Notre Dame. Let's get another look.
Mays, the ball comes out of his hands, drops it to the ground, and the ball rolls out of bounds.
He dribbled it off the foot of Noel out of bounds, and he almost got away with picking it up and bringing it back in, but all the Notre Dame fans down at that end of the court were yelling about it.
So here's the patience now. Patience and poise usually leads to points.
Martin, 3 points.
Thank you. Patience, poise, 3 points. Make the extra pass. Shot selection. Shot selection. Good clubs have good shot selection.
Largest lead of the night for the Irish.
I tell you one thing, the Irish have done a great job stopping Kentucky from getting in transition. But when do you remember a transition layup by Kentucky?
Noel a miss. Boy, and Cooley wants every rebound, doesn't he? Battles for every loose ball.
There is nothing like winning experience. Not just experience, winning experience.
2-man game, and Cooley draws the foul.
45-0, Mike Bray on the floor, on this floor, in the month of November. Now take a look right here. They're going to reverse the ball, kick it out to Martin. Experienced Martin. And there he is, dropping it down. Started his career at Purdue. Played at Valparaiso High School. Played with Robbie Hummel in high school.
Hummel playing professionally over in Spain right now.
One of my favorite players. To love him.
Another guy who battled a lot of injuries. 2 serious knee injuries in his career at Purdue. Willie Cauley-Stein into the game for Kentucky. Nerlens Noel will sit down.
Willie Cauley-Stein's got to give him some real basketball on that interior. They need his size to give him some rebounding, block some shots. As you said earlier, was a terrific wide receiver.
And it's a 14-point lead for Notre Dame. Poitras muscling his way in and scores and draws the foul.
He's a big-time player, but he was limited on that sideline. Played 5 minutes with 2. See, I think sometimes coaches go to that too much. Got 2 fouls, man, you got to play sometimes. You got to play. I know Al McGuire always felt that way.
Foul on Pat Connaughton, a very tough kid for the Irish, a sophomore who's also a pitcher on their baseball team. Throws about 93, but he's given up a lot of size in the matchup with Poitras.
I think he was drafted by San Diego Padres.
Yep, coming out of high school, but elected to go to college. And boy, when you can throw 93, 94, and you're also a terrific basketball player, you got a bright future one way or the other.
Also a pretty good student as well.
This is him with the ball.
See, there's their patience. They really, right now, this tempo is exactly what they want, and the score allows them to play at this tempo.
Connaughton misses the 3, and the rebound down to Kentucky.
He's got to make some shots from out there. That is his forte.
Goodwin all the way again, just bowling his way into traffic and coming up empty again.
Well, we saw them go down 14-2, and they battled back and got within a shot of really catching the Dukies.
Grant probing. Cooley inside. Smothered and saved by Poitras.
Just good athleticism because that was good execution by Notre Dame.
Crowd wanted to travel on Mays. He gets it inside, and Wilcher is called for the travel.
He lifted that pivot foot. And Porter right there with the ball. No doubt he lifted that pivot foot.
Early second half here with a sellout at Purcell Pavilion here in South Bend, Indiana, with a Notre Dame leading Kentucky by 11, and we got a treat for you. Everybody knows you're a football fan. Everybody knows your daughters went to Notre Dame. Everybody knows you're excited that Notre Dame is going to the national championship game. Manti Te'o's going to come over and sit right beside you in the next segment. We're going to talk a little Irish football after the next time out. Wilcher comes down with a rebound for Kentucky.
What I like about him, here he is. The guy's up for the Heisman. He's here cheering like he's just a normal student.
Pauly Steino, and a rebound by Connaughton.
He's going to score that ball right there. He's going to take it and jam it.
Wow, lays it in.
Notre Dame beats him up the floor. Beats him up the floor for a layup. Kentucky really lacking any rhythm on the offensive end. And that is sink. John really upset on that sideline. Sometimes you can have all the parts, but if you don't have that leader at that point guard slot like they've been accustomed to, he's been accustomed to. Derrick Rose, think about all the greats he's had.
Foul on the floor to send us to a timeout. Heisman Trophy candidate Manti Te'o leading the Irish into the national championship game. Coming to sit down, talk a little football with us when we come back to South Bend after this. Outstanding, some would say charmed season for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, an undefeated regular season, and Dick, so many close games. A field goal to beat Purdue, a goal line stand, a memorable one, and the overtime win over Stanford. A little reverse there and into the end zone to defeat BYU, and on it went. How about this game that people won't forget, the 3 overtime game against Pitt? I mean, you were at some of these games. You watched all of these games. A memorable season, to say the least, for the Irish.
Well, we came here, my wife and I, family, for 4 of the games. I had the thrill of being the speaker for the game against Michigan, the pep rally, and it was unbelievable. The emotion, the passion, and the feeling that people have for Manti, unreal.
Manti Te'o coming over to the table, sitting down with us right now, getting comfortable, wearing his Notre Dame basketball T-shirt. And I don't know if he's more excited to meet you or if you're more excited to meet him.
I want his autograph, man. I'm a groupie right now. I'm a groupie. Manti, I was telling Dan, I spoke at the pep rally that you guys played Michigan. And that was a tough time for you because that was the time where you went through such pain, losing your grandmother, losing your girlfriend, and the unbelievable love affair that the university demonstrated. What was that like to you? Because I remember everyone was wearing away.
That's what Notre Dame is all about. It's love, it's family, it's support, and I'm just extremely blessed to be here and be part of this Notre Dame family and have such support from this community. It's definitely the best place in the world.
And you look like you're having as much fun watching this basketball game as you do playing football.
Yes, those are my friends. Those are my friends out there representing, our school, and they support us, and I'm just here to, do the same for them.
Well, you guys undefeated, unbelievable season. It's been a dream year. Who do you want now, Alabama or Georgia? Does it matter?
I think, it doesn't matter. They're both great teams. We're going to prepare the same way we have been this whole time. And, we're just looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's go! Let's go! Watch out, Dick. Watch out, Dick. He's pretty good.
They're on fire,
He's pretty good.
They're on fire. And they're feeling off you. I love the fact that you're like a cheerleader out here.
I'm the biggest fan right now.
Let's go, Eric! Ooh! Blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle. That's a foul.
Hey, Heisman Trophy coming up this weekend. How important is that to you?
It's important for me because, it brings honor to this school and to my family. You know, that's what it's all about for me. You know, I couldn't do it without my teammates, and you know, they're just as deserving of that award as I am.
Well, I had a battle with Eddie George. He's a Heisman guy, an offensive guy. They all stick together as offensive guys. And I told them up and down, I was on serious radio with them. I said, forget about it, Eddie. Are you kidding me? It belongs to one kid. They wouldn't be undefeated without it. And Magic Johnson put on a tweet. I saw a tweet. He agrees with me.
Manti, with all the close games you guys have had, as Noel slams it home in the alley-oop, is there one moment, one play in one game that really stands out to you this season?
I think, you know, with our team, we've done so many great things. You know, from the goal line stands, you know, just there's not one moment with this team that you know stands out, because we've done great things all year, and we're going to continue to do that.
You're the #1 guy to come out of that high school in Hawaii, and they've had some famous people like President Obama. And I will tell you this, how did you pick Notre Dame? You could have went anywhere in America. Southern Cal was at the top of your list. How did you end up with Notre Dame?
I prayed about it. And it was all about prayer. And my family always told me to always, you know, exercise your faith, and that's exactly what I did, and everything pointed here to Notre Dame, and it's the best decision of my life.
Well, you're probably right now their #1 recruiter. Are you going to get the kid at your high school who's a super player committed to Stanford? But I read some quotes and said, hey, I'm seeing Manti likes it down there. Maybe I should go there.
I mean, you know, he'll make the best decision for him. But
what is his name?
Isaac.
There's Ryan Harrow into the paint, high off the glass, and he gets the roll to make it a 10-point game.
I'm happy for Ryan. I really am, because he's been struggling psychologically, emotionally, and I'm really happy to see the kid get on board. This place is electric right now.
You wish you could play tomorrow. It's going to be tough to wait 5 weeks to play the national championship again. A three for Beachside.
What's it like for you walking around the campus? What's it like for you?
That's all love. And I love being around my classmates. I love being, you know, part of this community, and man, I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
What is your major in school?
Graphic design.
Graphic design.
The 4 years go fast?
I went by too fast. Yeah. You know, throughout the process, it seems like it's long. But now, you know, in the situation that I'm in, I'm at the end of my career here. It seems like it's all a blur, and I wish I could go back and, you know, relive some moments.
Well, you got one very memorable chapter, though, still to come in that career. So
exactly.
You're going out in style. Notre Dame up 13 on Kentucky. Manti Te'o with us here at the table.
Oh, nice two-man play. Nice two-man play. Let me ask you this. When did you realize this team was going to be special?
I realized that in the summer, you know, with our workouts, our summer workouts, just the focus, you know, the drive, the commitment that, you know, our team showed, and that's the closest team I've been on here, and it had to be that way in order for us to be 12-0.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You may say you knew they were going to be 12-0. I know one thing as an Irish football fan. I was chewing on the mailbox, man. In Stanford, Purdue, the goal line stands were unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's all heart. It's all heart.
You play any basketball? How much basketball you play?
I used to play in high school. Yeah. I was that guy that the opposing coach told to foul.
I got a funny feeling, Darren. He was a screener. And he was the guy on the interior, because with that body, no soft touch. No soft touch.
Pure rebounder.
I bet you he could take a charge. Goodwin forcing another one. It goes off the shot clock, and it'll go back over to the Irish.
Let's go, Cool. So tough at home. They've won 45 in a row, Manti, on this floor in November under Coach Brown.
Coach Barry's just a terrific coach. He always gets his guys going.
What is the relationship between the basketball team and the football team? How close are you guys?
We're a family. Yeah. You know, we're a family. The only time we're not together is when they're on the court playing and we're on the field. We're always together, always talking about our next games and, you know, matchups and stuff like that.
I think one of the great things at the university, and my daughter was an athlete here, both of them play tennis, is that all the kids live together. They all live with the normal student body rather than just being isolated as athletes. How do you like that?
I love it. You know, shout out to my freshman and sophomore roommate, you know, Long Tran. He makes the best noodles. He's a Vietnamese kid from California, and he makes the best noodles.
Those are some of your guys we just saw right under the basket down there?
Yep.
Got a lot of the football team here.
The whole football team is in here, except for Lewis Nix. He's being Santa Claus right now for some kids.
What about the development of Everett and Golston at the quarterback slot?
I'm so proud of that guy. You know, his confidence continues to grow, and he's a special player. He's very, very athletic, very, very talented, and you know, the more confident he gets, you know, the more dangerous he gets. So
I'm going to tell you something. January 7th, as everyone knows, certainly it's not going to be easy. The SEC has won 6 consecutive national championships. Alabama and Georgia could flat out play. In your assessment, how tough do you think that moment's going to be?
It's going to be really tough. You know, we understand. You know, it's going to be really tough, and we're going to go against, you know, a really good team. And you know, I think for us, we just got to be careful and just focus on us and getting ourselves better.
Good ball movement by the Irish. Shot clock running down.
So much. I need 4 tickets. Can I have 4 tickets?
Thank you. Good luck. Good luck. One of the best football players in the country is one of the biggest basketball fans in the country here tonight.
Studio update, South Carolina St. John's game on ESPNU, and so far St. John's having their way. Felix Balamu will go up and get it. Throw it down, 38-26. They've gone to the half there. Meantime, UConn and UNH, battle of Huskies and Wildcats, and the hometown Huskies struggling a little bit. In spite of this jumper from Shabazz Napier, the lead is only 7. They're under 12 there as well.
All right, Carl, thank you. Back here at Rockets Purcell Pavilion in South Bend, Notre Dame has extended the lead to 18 points. Our thanks to Manti Te'o for spending some time with us. What an inspiration he has been on and off the field this year. Meanwhile, right before that timeout, Scott Martin, who missed a game 2 games ago because of soreness in his left knee and tore up that knee a couple of years ago, it looked like he might have landed awkwardly a little bit, and that left leg came up off the court as if he were favoring it. Whether it's the knee or ankle, not sure, but it does not appear to be major. And as you can see, he is back and headed to the scorer's table to check back into the game. That's good news for the Irish, who really only use 7 players.
Tell you one thing, this is a special performance for Mike Bray. He's going to rank as one of his best because they are really putting it to Kentucky.
They were down 6 early in the game. They're up 18 now, so a 24-point turnaround tonight. Goodwin, not close. Paulson kicks it out. Wiltshire for 3. Too strong.
Oh, there's a foul right there.
Paulson got away with one.
Oh, he got away with that one. Kentucky really struggling shooting the basketball. And they can't get anything in transition. Can't get layups in transition, and that's been a problem for John Calipari's club here tonight.
You can see how good Notre Dame has been on its home court tonight. They're shooting 53%, and they're 7 for 13 from three-point range compared to 1 of 9 for Kentucky. The foul on Nerlens Noel, his third. A timeout on the floor with the Irish up big. The Jimmy V Classic is on ESPN Tuesday at 7 Eastern. It'll be Texas taking on the Georgetown Hoyas, and then NC State at UConn at 9 Eastern. A great doubleheader Tuesday on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. As if Manti Te'o doesn't do enough for the university.
Wow, he's earning a scholarship. He's earning a scholarship. How many potential Heisman Trophy winners would be out there sweeping the floor? Think about it. I want to know who's big deal on the campus. Mr. Te'o, and what about Skylar Dickens? She is special, my friend. She is special.
Notre Dame's been pretty special tonight, shooting over 50% from the field and from 3, out rebounding the Wildcats and continuing to extend the lead as Beachside knocks it down.
I like Beachside. I like him because he really can make shots. He's an offensive player. He's going to get a lot of PT playing time here.
Notre Dame 6-1 on the season. The only loss, as we mentioned in the first half, to St. Joe's. This is a team that's making a statement that they deserve to have a little number beside their name. They deserve to be ranked in the top 25.
Well, playing like one right now. team they're beating's in the top 10. I personally think Kentucky's too highly rated. I mean, really, when you look at this club right now, trying to blend as a unit is very difficult.
10-0 run right now for the Irish.
I think the most important position, you got to have solid point guard play. Notre Dame has that with Atkins.
Corner three is there for Mays. Just the second three in 10 attempts for Kentucky tonight. Dick, they came in. They don't shoot a lot of threes, but they came in shooting 46% on the season from beyond the arc.
And 55% from the field, leading the nation. And Notre Dame has really stifled them big time.
Grant tries to whip a pass to Cooley. Loose ball smothered by Noel. And a timeout called by Kentucky to maintain possession.
If Kentucky's going to get back in this game, they're going to start trading some threes. Wilcher, Mays, they're going to have to make some threes.
Well, you talked about it, Dick. What Notre Dame has is experience, and they've got it on the inside in senior Jack Cooley.
Well, that's Cooley on the interior. Hey, you look at all the teams that are winning up on top. You talk about experience. Look at Indiana. Look at Duke's experience with Plumlee. I'd love to see Plumlee and Zeller go at it. But really, right there, great deal of execution due to the experience factor. Getting good shots, good two-man play, share the basketball. It's a double-double guy, this guy. Was not a McDonald's All-American. I wonder if he was a Wendy's All-American. I'll tell you right now, he's a Notre Dame All-American to Mike Bray.
And Mike Bray's had so much success. This home court winning streak in November actually goes back before Mike Bray was even here. He's won 45 in a row at home in November. The school has won 48 in a row. Only Kansas has a better home court mark the last 7 years than Notre Dame. And more recently, they are 40-1 in their last 41 home games. That's conference, non-conference, you name it, everybody.
In the last 7 years, they're 105-7. He's got to convert on the inside. You get the ball that deep, he's got to be able to convert around that basket.
Martin's back in, the knee looks okay.
People in Kentucky were so spoiled by the club they had last year. That was such a special unit. They were so unselfish. They were all about winning. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and certainly when you look at Anthony Davis, they were at the bottom in terms of number of shots they took.
Atkins goes right underneath the basket, comes out the other side. 7 to shoot as he gets it back. Driving again, takes the bump, and will shoot a couple.
Kentucky right now, you look at them, they are struggling. You can see their body language indicates it's struggle city right now. And then people are going to feel sorry for them. They have pounded on people over the last few years, dominating the college basketball landscape, especially during the regular season, during the SEC.
A narrow win in New York over Maryland. A loss on a neutral court down in Atlanta to Duke. Then home court wins over Lafayette, Morehead State, and LIU Brooklyn. Unless things change dramatically here, a loss here in South Bend, they go home and play Saturday afternoon. Quick turnaround against Baylor. Then they got a few more home games they should win before they go to Louisville near the end of December. And then come January, they're into the SEC.
Well, Louisville had a tough break, losing their shot blocker. You can't replace guys like Jan. That was a major, major loss for Rich Pitino's stuff. The good news is they'll get him back in a 4 to 6 week period. Broke his left wrist. Here we go right now. Good defense by Notre Dame.
Noel defended by Cooley. Left hand gets it to go.
See, he's got to be more assertive inside. He's got some pretty good skills right now. He's got the long length. I don't think he's as confident offensively as he should be. Playing the two big guys together.
And all 4 freshmen are in the game right now for Kentucky.
See, the one quality that Michael Kidd-Gilchrist had, he was a warrior, man. He was a guy that would fight, scrap, and claw. They got to find one of their players to really demonstrate that kind of ability. Becomes contagious.
Notre Dame ball when we come back to South Bend with the Irish enjoying a 16-point lead.
Back here in our college basketball studios, Seth Greenberg, Carl Ravitch. UNH being a pain here for UConn. Patrick Conan knocks down. Seth, they got a little trouble here. Looking for Shabazz Napier to take over. Jamil Wilson's taking over from Marquette. Good game on tap. Marquette and Florida. The Gators unbeaten, winning by an average of 20-plus points.
All right, Carl, thank you. Back here in South Bend, a big lead for the Irish as you look at some upcoming games, including Marquette, Florida. Good one right after us tonight here on ESPN2. And then tomorrow night, the SEC Big East Challenge continues. Tennessee, Georgetown, and Syracuse, Arkansas on ESPN, the home court of college hoops.
That's an interesting matchup, Marquette. Florida, the Gators certainly have some good perimeter players.
Martin misses the jumper, and down with the rebound is Goodwin for the Cats. Mays in the corner with another three.
He's a guy that can shoot the basketball. He gives him a little experience. Came from Wright State. Eligible to play.
And a team high 13 for Mays. The Irish have 3 in double figures, led by Atkins with 14.
See, the one great thing that Notre Dame has done, it has not allowed Kentucky to go on a spurt. They've been an outstanding spurt team this year. Struggling with Morehead State, and all of a sudden, bam, a spurt. They were struggling early with LIU, bang, spurt. But this is not LIU or Morehead State.
Grant with a deep three, and the Irish are now 8 for 14 from beyond the arc.
You know, we talk about great backcourts, and I love the backcourt down in Michigan. This backcourt doesn't get any recognition.
Yep.
They can play with almost anybody. But Grant and certainly Atkins. See right here, going to reverse the ball. Grant's going to make like his uncle and his daddy, show his range as a shooter. They can certainly shoot the ball. 2 big guys, Harvey and Horace.
Number 3 on Cooley. 6:40 to go and a 16-point lead for Notre Dame. Mays is feeling it and knocks down another one.
Why not? That 3 will give you some momentum, but they're going to make something happen defensively. They have not been able to contain the Irish from executing their offensive schemes.
Mays is 4 out of 6 from beyond the arc. The rest of his team is 0 for 6. He's got 16 points tonight to easily be the leading scorer for Kentucky.
See, they got to look more intense on the defensive end. I mean, they can't just stand around. They got to really attack the basketball.
Screen by Cooley, the drive by Grant, the kick to the corner, and an air ball as Noel comes down with a rebound on the Atkins miss. Goodwin tipped away. Mays, Goodwin. And Mays, good patience, didn't force anything. You got 4 freshmen and a senior out there, a grad student, in fact. Mays, a transfer from Wright State.
See, the one thing Goodwin has to learn is to stay on the ground. He leaves his feet. Too many times he's up in the air trying to make that pass.
Empty trip for Kentucky.
I think really what's hurt Kentucky, they have not been able to get any transition scores off their defense. They haven't been able to get out on a break. Notre Dame has absolutely done exactly what their game plan was. Control, tempo, and execute. Move the ball, make the extra pass for a high percentage shot.
And after they started off cold on some good looks, they have heated up, shooting 49% in the game. Beachside forces one up, and the rebound down to Goodwin.
He wants to shoot every time he gets the ball. He's a scorer, man.
Mays, not this time. Can't run it down, and it'll be Notre Dame ball.
It's going to be a growing thing this year for John Calipari and these kids. They're going to have some great moments. The guy's a terrific coach. When you look at his numbers, they're astounding as you take a look here graphically.
Nobody with more than 8 points amongst the freshman class for Kentucky. Their first true road game, and a learning experience for this young Wildcat team. Now the Irish a little patience.
Last 3 years, 106 wins. That's the most of anybody ever in a 3-year period.
And away from the ball, we've got a foul going on in Kentucky on Poitras, and they'll win their fair share this year. This team may not be last year's team, but they'll win their fair share.
Oh, they'll win their fair share of games. There's no doubt about it. I just don't think they're going to be a legitimate top 10 team. Maybe at the end of the year, but I have a question because I don't think they are really solidified at that point guard slot.
Right.
Goodwin to me is a scorer who's trying like heck to give them that point guard play. But they missed that catalyst, and he's had 5 great ones in a row. When you think of Rose, Evans, you think about Wall and Teague, and also you think
Brandon
about Knight.
Yeah. And Ryan Harrell back into the game. It remains to be seen how effective Harrell will be and what his role will become over the course of the season. Nice look. And a rejection by Noel. Did the ball already hit the glass? Notre Dame fans asking for a goaltending call. They don't get it, and then the Irish throw it away.
Well, if a ball hits the glass and you get it on its upward flight, it's still good in college basketball. The question is whether or not the ball was on its downward flight.
And a timeout on the floor.
I thought it was a good block. I really did. I thought it was a good block.
So the lead is 13 for Notre Dame. It is Jimmy V Week, and we're asking you to help us beat cancer. The V Foundation awards 100% of direct donations to fund cancer research. Log on to jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to make a donation.
Yeah, really, we ask you really to help us. You may be helping someone you love, so please call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. I'm so proud to be on the board with so many quality people like John Saunders, Mike Krzyzewski. Bob Lloyd does a magnificent job as the chairman of the V Foundation, former teammate at Rutgers of Jimmy V. We need your help. Please call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. Notre Dame will be very tough to beat on this floor. They play with a certain confidence about them. They have to learn how to win away from here.
40-1 in their last 41 at home. Noel doesn't get the roll, battles for the rebound. Ball still loose. He comes up with it, and he gets a fresh possession. Harrow launches a three, and Noel is fouled. If it's Cooley, it's going to be his fourth.
One thing I like about Noel, he's not afraid to dive on the floor. He's not afraid to hustle. They got some good points. They're just going to find a way to get them to blend as a unit.
Keep an eye on UNH and UConn. Back with Jay Williams and Seth Greenberg. It's only a 6-point game. Enoch Wolf, the big 7-footer, watches the layup go in.
UConn's going to have some struggles this year, but I think this team is playing with a chip on their shoulder, and they're playing with passion for their coach, Kevin Allen.
I play for Kevin Allen, I'll tell you that much. And I'll tell you one thing about this UConn team. They've got good guards who can make plays.
There's a pass to Wolf, 52-46.
All right, guys, thank you. Another good game coming up immediately following this one. Marquette in Florida as the SEC Big East Challenge continues. You know the Golden Eagles will play hard. They always do. The Buzz Williams in Florida's got a lot of talent. They're going to be right there with Kentucky, don't you think, in the SEC?
Absolutely. They got some talent on the interior and the perimeter. Talking about Patrick Young inside, Murphy, and on the outside, Boynton is there, Willikin. And Rosario transferred out of Rutgers. Explain the rule.
Yeah,
the referee came over.
We verified with Ed Corbett about the rejection by Nerlens Noel. You can take it off the glass in college if the ball is still going up. If the ball is below the rim or below the ring at the time. If it is above the rim, then you can't do it. And that ball looked to be kind of half above, half below. So it is a different rule than the NBA, but it's not a blanket rule. It depends on what direction it's going and whether or not it's above the rim. Nice ball movement there by Kentucky.
Really great execution right there. They need more of that. Really had some ball movement, player movement.
Little pressure now.
The jam by Willie Cauley-Stein. Yep. Excellent execution by the young Cats. People be patient out there. They're going to be very good. They're going to win their share of games.
The Irish breaking the pressure and now content to use a lot of the shot clock as we move near the final 3 minutes of the game.
This is when they really excel usually, but the athleticism of St. Joe's was the difference at the end of the game. It took them to overtime, but they lost that game.
Jaron Grant takes a bump and he'll head to the line. Grant's had a big second half.
You know, we saw on the graphic up there, Florida 5-0, first time since 2009 and 10. What about Illinois? John Groves, for a first-year coach, has the best record ever at Illinois for a first-year guy. 8-0 the Illini. They had that scare with Gardner-Webb, but they really played well yesterday.
How good is the Big Ten?
Big Ten's very good, obviously. You know, what about Michigan State, though, getting beat on the road? Miami? Miami's got Scott right now. Didn't have him earlier in the year. Jimmy Larinaga has got them playing well.
I know that Michigan team is one that a lot of people are excited about. We're looking forward, thinking down the road into February. One of our game day games is Michigan at Indiana.
You know, I was on Dan Dockage's show yesterday, and Dan had that game, and he really said that's going to be dynamite because the Michigan guards are super, and their inside players are a lot better than people believe. You look at McGarry and Robinson, Morgan.
He needs some quick scores.
I like the kid from Canada who can shoot the ball.
Nick
Stauskas. He can flat out shoot it. Very underrated. One of the most underrated diaper dandy in America.
Mays lobs it up for Noel, and he will finish with authority.
Last two possessions, they have executed John Calipari style. That has been Kentucky in the past. Shot selection, good movement, get the right people to shoot the ball.
Can they get enough stops to make it a game?
Well, defensively, they have not really been as sharp as you would anticipate they would be with their athleticism.
Notre Dame led by as many as 20. Kentucky has cut it down to 10. Again, more patience by the Irish. 15-5 run, Wildcats.
Trying to manage that clock, use a lot of the shot clock.
Atkins, no. Rebound, yes. What a killer for Kentucky as Cooley lays it back in.
He's really tough on the offensive glass, and that's been a nightmare for Kentucky all year, the offensive boards. Big basket right there. That was a momentum builder.
Poitras travels.
I don't know about the travel right there. I thought he got bumped and fouled prior.
So a huge rebound and putback for Jack Cooley, and then a big traveling call on Poitras, and Kentucky's running out of time.
Got to stop that clock. Can't let them just take that clock down. These guards are so good, though. I'm telling you, you're talking about experienced winning guards. College basketball, if you want to win, you better have people on the perimeter that understand how to play.
And a foul.
And also want to send a tribute out to the athletes here at Notre Dame. Not just basketball, football, but hockey, women's basketball. #1 in America, they are ranked for graduating their athletes. That is special.
Speaking of hockey, I was so happy you forced me to go and look at the new hockey arena here.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
I'd like to see one better than that. And the football team's the first football team ever to be #1, going to the championship game, and lead the nation in graduation rate as well. And they got the best fight song as well. I don't care what you cheer for a roller. Oh, man, we've heard that song so many times in my house.
How about Cooley hunting down rebounds like crazy here tonight? Another double-double for him. 13 points and 11 boards.
My boy feels like $1 billion right now. He's floating like a butterfly. Muhammad Ali doesn't lift too far from Notre Dame. Oh, great fake.
What a play by Atkins.
Great fake. He's been the star of nights. Mr. Greenberg, Mr. Williams, Mr. Ravage. He's been the star of nights. Started right out of the gate. It's been the Atkins show.
And is anybody having more fun in the building tonight than Manti Te'o?
He's going to have a lot of fun throughout his career. He's a winner, man. Mel Kiper's got him rated very high. There's the little fake. Oh, great. Manti loves it. I love the job Mel Kiper does. He does a terrific job.
He is all over it. Final minute, and Notre Dame on its way to another big win here at home. Another win over a ranked team. This will be 41 out of 42 at home, going back over the last 3+ seasons as they continue to dominate here in this arena.
Well, buddy, 46-0 in November. So a word of advice to everyone out there, do not schedule Mike Bray in November. It'll be an L, baby, an L.
The Irish picked 3rd preseason in the Big East, behind only Louisville and Syracuse, and the chant here in South Bend is overrated. Being sent towards the #8 Kentucky Wildcats.
I'm going to be careful with that chant, because they might be chanting that in football time, like Alabama or Georgia, even though I don't think so.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win Saturday?
Who's going to win Saturday?
Yeah.
Alabama's going to win. It's going to be a sexy matchup. What a matchup. Alabama and Notre Dame. That is sexy. And I saw the look on the eye of touchdown Jesus and the glow of the Golden Dome. This is the year of the Irish. It doesn't matter if it's Alabama. It doesn't matter if it's Georgia. Take it to the bank. Fowler and Desmond Howard and Kirk and all you guys in football. They are going to win the national title. But tonight, they won in basketball, and Mike Bray is the man of the hour.
The final seconds will tick away here in South Bend. The Irish with an impressive win over Kentucky. Manti Te'o embracing on the course. Smiles all around here in South Bend as the Irish faithful stormed the court in celebration of this win over Kentucky. They started slowly, but they heated up, and they held Kentucky to just 50 points here tonight. An impressive win for Notre Dame as they go to 7-1 in the season when the Wildcats drop to 4-2. Mike Bray, the head coach of the Irish, is making his way in to join us. Going to do a live post-game interview here. We get him hooked up. How are you? We get him hooked up with the headset. Well, we talked to you earlier today, and I don't know if you quite knew what to expect in this kind of an environment from your team. Didn't look great the first 6 or 7 minutes. What changed?
You know what? I think our poise and our veteran experience really took over for 40 minutes. I felt good about this game. We played a lot of big games in here, and these guys have been waiting on this one all summer. But I loved our poise. Our defense was excellent for 40 minutes. I mean, we really defended.
I thought there was no doubt talking to you that you were confident that you were going to get this W. And one of the reasons you said was defense, but I also thought guard play. Your guards are as good as many guard combinations in the nation. Atkins and Grant, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, Dick, I agree. I think these two guys are going to be maybe the best backcourt in the Big East by the end of the year. They're really coming together. They're back from the Maryland area. They know each other well, but they play off of each other so well. Their basketball IQ is so high.
You know what I really liked also? The combination, I was telling Dan, of Cooley and Sherman there in that first step. And you're getting points from Sherman and B-Shot, who can score.
Those guys can score for us. B-Shot has been instant offense for us. He was really making shots for us. We got a nice 7-man nucleus. They like playing together. This is a good early win for us. Something to build on.
We're looking at Jack Cooley.
Is that his wife? Did he just propose?
Tell us about how far he's come in the last 4 years.
He's a great story in college basketball. I mean, a guy who was a bit player as a freshman and a sophomore. The game became serious to him every day, and now he is just a machine. What he does for us in the paint, he really sets the tone for us.
What does football do for the basketball program? I know down there in Florida, Billy Joel knew Donovan, how he uses it as a positive. What about here?
No, very much a positive, and I really believe a lot of this energy was to celebrate football, too, tonight. We had a lot of momentum in this building. We had our football captains here. I said bring them all in here. But when football's rolling like this, Dick, it inspires all of us.
Got to help recruiting.
Definitely helps recruiting. I mean, it's been a great football season, and I wish we weren't playing January 7th, but we'll be at Cincinnati.
They got a game against Cincinnati leading into the national championship game.
January 7th?
We play January 7th, big Monday. Yeah.
Cancel it. Cancel it. I want to cancel it. They shouldn't be playing on the 7th.
We got to play.
Tell the Big East to make you play the 6th.
I may get thrown out at halftime and end up at an Irish bar in Cincinnati.
Mike, congratulations.
Thanks,
great job.
Thanks.
You know what? You get 2 tickets. I want your 2 tickets.
I know. He came to do this game just to get extra
That's
football
the reason
tickets.
he called you over.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Mike Bray, the head coach of Notre Dame. What a win for the Irish tonight as they defeat Kentucky to go to 7-1 in the season. And what a celebration. What a scene here in South Bend. And Mike, he's 100% right. Part of the euphoria, the excitement here is for football. You can see how one sport can help another. And when you've got Manti Te'o and the rest of the football team out here dancing and celebrating, and the basketball team playing well, I mean, it's rolling right now here in South Bend.
I couldn't understand it. When my daughters graduated, I wanted to go to Duke in North Carolina for their masters. They said, no, Dad, we're going back. And they're double domers. There's something about this place, how you become addictive to it as a graduate. I know it's a part of my family, but really great university, as is Kentucky.
The party continues here in South Bend as the Irish defeat Kentucky 64-50. Another home court win and another win over a ranked opponent here in South Bend. Don't forget, there's more great basketball coming up. The SEC Big East Challenge continues. Marquette is down in Gainesville to take on 7th-ranked Florida. A slow start for the Irish, but then a Cooley, Atkins, Grant, everybody heating up. Manti Te'o leading the way as they storm the court. Let's send it back to Carl Ravitch in the studio.